2. Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Xander.
I am correct.
And we may be joined by the Golden Loon here in a little bit. I'm not entirely sure, but until then, you viewer, of course, are you. And today is Sun's Day, aka Sunday, June 4th, 2023. So, what happened on this date in history? Carrera, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, we'll do the first one.
All right.
I think that's a really cool one.
Yeah.
781 BC, oldest Chinese recording of a solar eclipse.
Ah.
That's
right.
cool. Then we got, let's say, 1039. Henry III becomes Holy Roman Emperor.
Ooh. All right.
And then, where do we go from here?
1070, actually, that looks pretty interesting right there.
Okay. You really want me to try to enunciate that? Good.
Roquefort.
10... Shut up, man. 1070, Roquefort cheese created in a cave near Roquefort, France.
Huh. Obviously named after the city it was accidentally created on.
Yep.
Or in. We have just been joined by
Golden Loon.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. How you doing?
Doing all right. How about you?
Good.
Yeah, we have Carrera.
Hey, heard you for a while. How you
Hey,
doing,
man.
Carrera?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Well, it says here, Roquefort is a sheep milk blue cheese from southern France. Though similar cheeses are produced elsewhere, EU law dictates that only those cheeses aged in the natural Champlain caves of Roquefort-sur-Sauzon, I believe, may bear the name Roquefort, as it is a recognized geographical indication or as a protected designation of origin. Same with what was it? Is it Champagne? Or something like true champagne is only made in Champagne, Italy or France. Yeah,
that's
so
right.
Anything else bearing the label as champagne is not technically champagne; it's sparkling wine. So
True.
Yeah,
That is actually true.
Yep. So let's see here. Copy and paste. Link to this Wikipedia of Roquefort cheese will be in the underbar of the description below after the show, of course. Anyway, we're going to move on up here. Let's see here. 1391, a mob led by Ferran Martinez surround and set fire to the Jewish quarter of Seville in Spain. The surviving Jews were sold into slavery. Yikes.
Whoa.
Oh.
Wow. That's not cool. So
Not at all.
we're going to move on up to the Shogun that looks like he has a certain adult toy on his head. 1615, Siege of Osaka, forces under the shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu took Osaka Castle in Japan.
You can't see me, but that's exactly my haircut. So
There you go.
Well, that's an interesting haircut there. So
Hey, at least you have hair, right?
yeah. Yeah,
I
yours
got
is all the
hair
way
where I
up.
don't want it.
Thanks for reminding me.
Well, I made sure of that. You know, I
Yeah.
turned you gray, then I turned you white. Now I'm turning you bald. So
Thanks.
yeah, the stresses of children never leave, do they?
Never.
No. Anyway, 1629, we have Dutch East India ship Batavia wrecked on Morning Reef off the Houston Abrolhos, Western Australia, with 200 survivors. Only 70 survive after 3 months due to mutiny and murders. Yikes.
Wow, I bet they were eating themselves.
Probably.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyway, back to you, Mr. Carrera. You can take this battle one if you want, but this event of interest is what's really catching my eye here.
Yeah, I'll do that. 1647, English Parliamentary army under Cornet George Joyce takes King Charles I as a prisoner during the Second Civil War.
Ooh, they got the king.
Yep.
Yikes.
Checkers.
Checkers?
Um.
Oh. Huh.
Oh, no, the opposite. Chess.
Yes. I was just going to say, you can king me in checkers, though, but other than that.
I got your Grey Goose. Wait, that's not a thing.
Wait, what?
Shut up, man. 1745, the battle at Hohenfriedberg, Sicily, Frederick the Great, Prussia defeats Austrians and Saxons. Wow.
Huh.
Okay.
All right.
And then we'll just jump right to the next one. 1756, Quakers leave the Assembly of Pennsylvania.
All right. Yeah, we were talking about the Quakers just the other day. Actually, several articles about the Quakers a couple days ago. But anyway, going to move on up here to 1769. A transit of Venus is followed 5 hours later by a total solar eclipse, the shortest such interval in history. So, like, the transit, I believe, is, like, you know, when a planet is visibly, like, transiting like, across the sky.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess Venus did a total solar eclipse for a little bit. Interesting. Let's see here.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'm just going to move on up here. Let's see here. Yada, yada, yada. Let's just go to victory in battle, 1859. Second Italian War of Independence, Battle of Magenta, resulted in a French Sardinian victory under Napoleon III over the Austrians under Marshal Ferencz's Guy. All right. Oh, here we go. 1862. Confederates evacuated Fort Pillow in Tennessee. Sounds like a very comfortable fort. It's literally a pillow fort, like Fort Pillow.
Yeah.
I wonder if they ever had a pillow fight.
I don't know.
Fuck you, Confederates.
Yeah. Anyway, Mr. Carrera, back to you in 1887.
1887, Pasteur Institute founded by French biologist Louis Pasteur and Emile Roux in Paris.
Huh.
Of course, I guess penicillin was evolved at some point of his discovery. I don't know if it was before or after this.
I think penicillin. When was penicillin discovered?
Louis Pasteur is credited with it.
1928.
Oh man, quite a bit later.
Yeah, so like almost 40 years. Actually, 41 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh. All right, here we go.
Oh, I like this one. 1896, Henry Ford takes his first Ford through streets of Detroit.
Yeah, so it's Ford through the streets of Detroit, driving in Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Where the Ford was made, right? Detroit.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. That's where it started.
I think it was the Model A.
Model A, I believe. Model A was first, or the Model T was first?
I would say A. Hold on a second.
Probably, yeah.
Model A or T first. Model 1903, Model T.
Okay.
Okay.
Really?
So
I was
when was
totally
Model
wrong
A?
on that.
1927, so Model T was
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
I was going by alphanumerics, but I guess not. So, all right. And then this next one doesn't seem like that important, but I have something to talk about after this here.
1912, cone of Mount Katahdin, Alaska collapses.
So I believe that's a volcano, right? The cone
Sounds like it.
collapsed, so it sounds like it
Yeah, it sounds like
fell
it.
into a
I'm
caldera.
not familiar with it, but that's what it sounds like.
Now, see, this reminds me, because I just saw a story just yesterday. Now, I don't remember exactly, I believe it was England, but it was like the tallest mountain in this one range, or like the tallest mountain in England or something. Some guy went up there and cut off like the top inch. Like there was the last little bit at the very top.
Okay.
Cut off the top inch and then put it into like a museum. And now the country of England is suing this guy, like to pressure him to put it back up on the mountain. Because like he took off like as I said, the top inch. It didn't make it suddenly not the tallest mountain in whatever category it is, but still 1 inch less.
Okay.
So that entire area is being petty.
Now they're pissed off.
Yeah. So it's just like, what are they gonna do? Glue it back on? Like it's just ridiculous.
It's a weird story.
So yeah. I just wanted to bring that up because I saw this. I'm like, oh hey, I saw something involving a mountain just yesterday. So. But yeah. Anyway, and the other 1912 year.
On turn still?
I think.
Okay, I'll do it. 1912. State of Massachusetts passes the first U.S. minimum wage law.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, wages are bullshit. And there is no minimum.
Instead of having a minimum wage, we should have a maximum wage. There should be a cap on how much you earn.
Well, where minimum wages originally came from, the concept of it, and put into law.
Apartheid, yeah.
Yeah.
But apartheid was after this.
Well.
Yeah, by 20 years.
Okay. Then maybe. Okay.
Who invented minimum wage? The national minimum wage was created by Congress under the Fair Labor Standards Act. Who invented minimum wage?
Worldwide.
Okay, Cass. New Zealand was the first country to implement a minimum wage in 1894, followed by the Australian state of Victoria in 1896 and the UK in 1909.
Okay, so the whole thing is screwy then, what I was going to say. Huh.
Yeah, well, I remember you talked to me about that several times, but there's been several contradictory occurrences I've seen, and it's just right. I don't think minimum wage was invented, against black people, but it was certainly implemented to do so.
Down there, it was Then it was implemented down there to keep the blacks out of the workforce.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Anyway, we're going to move on up to 1913. English suffragette Emily Davison died after throwing herself in front of King George V's horse, Anmer, during running of the Derby at Epsom. Wow. When we think the protesters. Did you see that video? The protesters, they got on stage during some dance competition. There was let me find it actually, real quick here. Protesters dance competition. It's so funny.
Is this currently you're talking about?
Yeah. This is new. So here. So they get on stage. The lady just starts throwing stuff. He's holding a sign. The camera operator just boom. Hell yeah.
Oh man. Oh, he got nailed right in the face.
Enough of this.
You got knocked the fuck out by a camera.
Yeah. Yeah, but
that's great.
But that's what this reminds me of. She literally threw herself in front of the horse in protest. It's we're almost there. This is we're sick of their shit, So the camera guy it was just
yeah.
Boom. I know when I first saw that, I almost fell out of my chair with joy. That was great. But anyway, 1917, U.S. men began registering for the draft.
Ooh.
For World War I. So,
yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's when the draft was first implemented.
When was draft
implemented?
First started or whatever.
1940. No, before that. Well, that's going to require some digging. I saw something here that actually really makes me annoyed that it's not highlighted. 1919, U.S. Congress passed the women's suffrage bill, the 19th Amendment. Why is this source, a leftist source, not highlighted? That is big. That is big. Unless they're trying to sweep it under the rug to push the feminist crap, change history so that way, they can have an actual substance to stand on, which is still built on lies. So
I don't understand where you're going with that.
Well, Like, if they get rid of, the knowledge that, like, women were given the right to vote,
Right.
women were, given this, were given that, and all that stuff, which, like, yeah, they did have to fight tooth and nail for it, don't get me wrong, but they still got it. They get rid of that knowledge, and then all the feminists can come up and say, oh, we don't have the right to vote, we don't have this, because nobody knows, everybody's ignorant.
Well, the point being on this whole thing, women should have always been able to vote.
I agree. But what I'm saying is, this being a leftist source, you'd think, with them constantly pushing all of this, progressive ideology, they would sure as shit highlight the 19th Amendment.
You would think so.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
To show that women didn't have their rights.
But they don't want people to know that.
See, that's where you lose me. I would think they would want you to
know
that.
No. They want people to be ignorant to know that, because if people knew that, then they wouldn't be able to complain the way that they do today. They get rid of the knowledge of the past so they can remake the mistakes, because nobody understands.
Can't connect those dots that you're talking about. I understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, let's move on up here. Tennis. Okay, whatever. Knighted. Whatever about that. Oh, here we go. Carrera, it's your turn, and this is a major event here.
Yeah. Oh, this is huge.
1940. British complete the miracle of Dunkirk by what the hell? Evacuating 330. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Allied troops from France via the I'm sorry, I can't read.
Flotilla
over 800 vessels, including Royal Navy destroyers, merchant marine boats, and fishing boats, pleasure craft, and even lifeboats.
Yeah, it was all hands on deck. Civilian, like, there's a movie out there, Dunkirk.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance to see that movie, it's great.
Oh man, like, yeah, it was crazy, because like, we're talking, the entire British Expeditionary Force, the remnants of France's army, like, everything
could have been annihilated.
Yeah, like, it wasn't just the military evacuating their own. Like, all the civilians, like, everybody, like, the call to arms was rung, and many civilians, put their own lives at risk to go out there in, their fishing boats, pleasure craft, lifeboats.
And they were trapped on the edge of the water there.
Yeah, just scary. So.
By the Germans, yeah.
Yep. Oh, and here we go.
I'm doing a show right now.
He's interacting with Grandma right now, so I'm going to move us up here to 1940. Winston Churchill's speech, "We shall fight on the seas and the oceans."
Yeah.
A major speach.
Yeah.
Which was played at the end of the movie Dunkirk we were just talking about. Like, go see it. Like, after this video, of course, but go watch Dunkirk. We also have 1942, Mrs. Miniver, based on the novel by Jan Struther, directed by William Wyler and starring Greer Garson and Walter Pidgeon, was released in the U.S., later to receive the Best Picture in 1943. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, in 1942 as well, the Battle of Midway began, Japan's first major defeat in World War II. Why is that not highlighted?
That's the turning point of
that should be a big thing, because the Battle of Midway was like a huge. In fact,
it was
the first win.
Most games even have the Battle of Midway in them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and actually, I think it was like the first major engagement between naval ships that didn't even see each other, because it was all aircraft. Like, before that, for the most part, it was always, ships firing at each other. You can see yourself, at least a smokestack over the horizon, adjust your sights, and just fire. But
if memory serves me correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't we break the Japanese code, and we kind of were waiting for them to come up to Midway?
I think so.
And we caught them off guard, and that was our first victory.
Yeah.
And I don't think we ever lost another battle with them after that. I don't think.
No.
We lost 2 battles after that.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah. But the Battle of Midway was what gave us our balls.
Because we knocked out a couple.
I know that was our first victory.
We knocked out a couple of their aircraft carriers, so that horribly crippled them.
Yeah. Like, their main ones, they're really big ones. Yeah.
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 Like, actually, I didn't know this about the Yamato. Remember the Yamato?
Yeah.
Which, strangely enough, with the Japanese being, so precision, and, meticulous and all that stuff, the Yamato's firing rate, we heard, was like vastly, inferior to the modern ships at the time. Like
Right.
they got a shell out once every minute, or like once every 2 minutes, while we got a shell out once every 30 seconds.
It was
Something.
even the range was even more than that, but
Yeah.
that was designed to be huge and huge shots. We had smaller and rapid fire, and did much more damage in between their shots. We did like 5 or 10 to 1 or something like that. Crazy.
Now, the point I'm trying to make with the Yamato is that apparently it's one and only mission. They sent it out, and then they were going to have it beach itself on like Okinawa or something. I don't remember. And then just fight until it was destroyed, defending the island.
Really?
Yeah, they were just going to like just have
heard
it beach it, and just turn it into a fortress.
Huh.
So, yeah.
That's the end of that is the reason we took over Guam.
Yeah. But as we all know, the Yamato didn't get there. It got, just totally
Sunk it.
wrecked by like so many aircraft. So. Anyway, let's move on up here. 1944, Mr. Carrera.
1944, Fifth Army enters the liberates Rome from Mussolini's fascist armies.
Yeah. So that's when the Allies, when we went in and invaded Italy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, there's de Gaulle.
Yeah.
All right. 1944, French General Charles de Gaulle arrives in London.
All right. And here we go.
Oh, yes.
This is what I've been saying.
Yeah.
1944, General Eisenhower cancels planned D-Day invasion on June 5th after receiving unfavorable weather reports.
Yep, it was, as I've said several times recently, it was planned for the 5th.
Yeah.
They canceled it, and they're just going to say, you know what, let's just wait till, like, more favorable, time of year. They're going to hold off for, like, several months.
Yeah.
And then one of their weather report guys are like, hey, we might get a clearing on the 6th. And they're like, fuck it. We already have everything. Go for it. Just like... we can't BS with with Patton and his inflatable tanks at Calais forever,
Everybody that's watching or listening, look at that picture. That is an incredible shot of how those boats just unloaded people.
And see what you can't see, you can see the cliffs up in the smokiness up there, but there's pillboxes up there. There's machine guns. There's mortars. There's howitzers. These guys are getting mowed the frick down.
Imagine, with this shot here, imagine you're in this thing, you boarded from your ship and you're heading to ground, all this fire is going around you, and those doors drop and just start mowing you down.
And,
oh my God,
and
how do they do that?
On top of that, everyone you see in there is between 17 to 22.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're kids.
They're
going out there and
I ask you today, what kids are going to do this today to save this country? Any of them?
No. There's a meme out there, 18 to 21-year-olds, back in 1940, storming the beaches of Normandy, getting shot at, doing what they can to stand up for what they believe is right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in today's world, 18 to 21-year kids, they need cry houses because words hurt.
Give me a safe
space. Freaking
it's
babies.
Crazy. I don't know. I don't know how they do it.
I'm actually not gonna quote on that, but I do agree.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on up here. 1944 as well. U-505 became the first German submarine captured and boarded on high seas by the U.S. Navy. Ooh. All right.
Whoa.
During the Battle of Atlantic.
Actually, I didn't know that. We actually captured and boarded a German sub.
Multiple times, actually. That's how we broke the Enigma code. Because as we know, all of the German submarines had Enigma machines. And the higher staff were tasked with, above all else, destroy that machine. Well, there's one captain who was already had a questionable background and everything. I saw a story about it a while ago. Not only did he not scuttle his boats, but he did not destroy the Enigma machine. So he just surrendered, and then the Allied forces went in there and found an intact Enigma machine and broke the code.
Gotcha.
If it wasn't for that, we probably wouldn't have broken the code.
Oh, okay.
So you're talking about breaking the Japanese code. We also had to break the German code.
Well, I too had never heard about the capturing a submarine like that, or the machines.
Yeah.
That's all news to me. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we captured several. Like that's how we have them in museums,
Yeah.
And like not just submarines, but like like every side, captured like like tanks and everything. Like there was actually like 5 Shermans, I believe it was 5 Shermans that were captured by the Germans and painted with swastikas and everything and fought on the German side because they captured them.
Ah.
Can you imagine our own tanks being used against us?
Yeah.
But like the Soviets, the Soviets captured like T-34s and such and used those against the Germans. The Germans captured T-34s. No, T-34 is German, is the Russian one. Panzer tanks.
Yeah.
Panzers was the big
not
bullet.
T-34.
You got the Panzer and the Tiger.
Tigers and King Tigers.
Okay. So Panzer was the smaller one.
Panzer was the smallest one. It didn't even really have a cannon. It just had a machine gun, I believe. Let's see here. Was it Panzer? No, that's... Okay, so
I know it had a turret on it.
German light tank. Like when they entered the Second World War, what was it? There's a Panzer 38.
They all have a turret to some degree.
Okay, here we go. Panzer 2. So like the Panzer 1. They all had turrets, but here's a Panzer 1. See, those are 2 machine guns.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's how they entered the war. But they also had the Panzer II, which had an actual coaxial cannon on it, and then they had the Panzer III. They had Tigers, King Tigers. Here we go. Here's a diagram right there. So.
And really, our tank was was really the weakest.
Sherman.
The Sherman was the weakest of all of them.
Yeah.
We just had so many. We produced them so fast, and it was like
the Sherman tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really wild because both Russia and us took a kind of a similar tactic in the war. We just Zerg rushed it. Like Russia literally had more men than Germany had bullets.
Yeah.
And we just, kept manufacturing those Shermans, and it didn't matter how superior the Germans' tanks were. We just outmaneuvered them. There was too much of us, and we just blew them up.
We were like gnats out there.
Yeah. Gnats with fangs.
Yeah. I mean, the King, what'd you call it? The King Panther, or what was it?
King Tiger.
King Tiger. We couldn't even penetrate that thing.
No.
With a Sherman.
No, but if you got a couple around, because you have 5 Shermans, you'll probably end up with 1 at the end of any engagement if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And that one is the one that's going to survive to go around the back to shoot the King Tiger in the back. If the Tiger isn't aware of that, turns or whatever.
The Tiger tank, the most vulnerable spot was the rear end.
Yeah.
Tiger.
Yeah.
Hi, Alice.
I would have thought the treads would have been the most vulnerable.
Well, treads would be vulnerable, yes, because you want to shoot the treads to immobilize it, and then, but you go around back and you shoot it in the tanks, and then that blows it up.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay.
Is that the loon
Hey,
of
look
Pops
who's
the
here.
Golden Milk?
Yeah, Loon's here.
Yeah. Hey,
how you
hey,
doing,
Poppy
Alice?
Pops.
How you
I'm doing good. How you doing? Happy
right.
Sunday.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, it's my day.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm the
I'm not recognizing that at all.
Anyway, Alice, you want to take a
Here
turn?
we got
1956?
We have 1956. We have a secret speech by Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev. I think. Khrushchev.
Khrushchev.
Yeah,
Nikita Khrushchev.
criticizing Joseph Stalin
Ooh.
is made public. Ooh.
Yeah. Now, Alice,
Well, he was already in '56. He was already the leader, or just became the leader, right?
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Yeah,
he could,
Nikita Khrushchev. Yeah.
No, Alice, you remember, you saw Death of Stalin, right, with us?
Yeah.
You remember Steve Buscemi's character?
Yeah.
That's Nikita Khrushchev.
Yeah.
He was Nikita
Well,
Khrushchev. So.
Well, also, like, a funny story is, like, if you ever watched, what was it, the Boardwalk Empire, Steve Buscemi played Nookie Thompson, like, during the whole Prohibition up in, like, Atlantic City and stuff. He ran the whole, like, the booze, like, stuff. But, yeah.
Well, Buscemi's been in a lot of
when you
roles.
hear
I'm just
Buscemi.
talking specifically about this. That's the character he was playing. So.
Yeah,
Well,
well, I was
Nikita-
also remembering that. He's played a couple, like, notable, like, historic characters. So that's all I was saying. Oh, wait, sorry about the car.
It's
well,
all right.
Nikita Khrushchev is the first one I remember coming out of Russia. The first ruler of the evil empire when we were being taught as kids to duck and cover. And oh my God, he
Oh,
was
duck and
evil.
cover, because that's
Yeah.
going to save you
Yeah.
from a nuclear
Yeah,
blast.
that's what was going to save us. We're going to
I just realized.
Hide under the
But
table.
Nikita Khrushchev's the first one I remember from Russia.
I just realized this guy was alive when Joseph Stalin was around.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't remember him, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but still, like, yeah, wow. Huh. That's
Well,
crazy.
we also have 1957 here. We have the first commercial coal pipeline placed in operation. But
Huh.
where?
I don't know. 1957, first. You said.
It should be like where it was, because that's kind of interesting.
First
A coal
commercial
pipeline, huh?
coal pipeline. Let's see here. Get over there.
Go to all.
Ohio. Okay.
Ohio.
For the Consolidation Coal Company. Ohio. Oh, it was shut down in 1963, though. Because of the competition of the railroads. Wow.
Ah, shit snacks.
All right. Don't
So the
care about
pipeline
that.
didn't really work out too well with coal. Maybe it was because it was too loud for coal just going
Yeah.
through it. I don't know. Sorry for the cars going by. Apparently,
It's
you know,
alright.
Sunday drivers.
Yeah.
Anywho, what do we have next here? We got 1961. We got President John F. Kennedy and Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev.
Same guy.
Oh, yeah.
Him again. Meet at Vienna summit in Austria.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
all right.
Yeah, so Kennedy met the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to. Khrushchev wanted to test Kennedy as a young guy, and they didn't know if he would stand up, and that's where a lot of
Well, actually,
the
Oliver
Cuban thing,
Stone-
Cuban Missile Crisis, they were actually testing.
Yeah, the Cuban Missile. Actually,
testing Kennedy.
contrary to popular belief, I think Oliver Stone has a documentary out how the reason, one of the other theories of why Kennedy was assassinated is because he probably would have ended the Cold War before it even really started.
Ah,
Well, the reason why Kennedy was assassinated, like one of the main reasons, is the CIA was trying to, trying to have him sign off on a false flag attack to validate a war with Cuba, to get the
Yep.
public, to be
Yeah, and
supportive.
Kennedy refused.
And he refused, and then a week later he was shot. Like there's other
Yeah, well,
there's other
there's that.
things, there's other theories, but maybe everything worked
There's-
together, and they're just like, this guy's too good, we got to get rid of him,
well,
Yeah,
Kennedy
the
is
mob was
responsible
mad
for
at
the Bay of
him.
Pigs,
The mob was mad at him. Then
Yeah.
the CIA was mad at him. Like Secret Service was mad at him. I mean, the FBI was mad at him.
And wasn't he also making moves against the Federal Reserve?
Yep.
Yes.
He was
Yeah.
also making moves to dissolve the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, so there you go. He had so
I
many
mean, there
targets
were
on
many
his head.
factors against him. There could be many reasons. I think they all just
I think
piled up.
everything just kind of
but all
worked
good
together.
decisions.
Yeah.
What he's thinking
Yeah.
about are right. Get rid of that Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
It's
Well, that's
crap.
why they got rid of him.
Yeah.
Back and to the left.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
I've
Anyway,
actually been to Dealey Plaza. It was an interesting tour.
Anyway, let's move on up to 64 here, Miss Alice.
Oh yeah, so we have 1964 here. Oh, it looks like we got a Ringo Starr from the Beatles. The Beatles' first and only world tour begins with two 10-song shows at 4,400 seat KB Hall in Copenhagen, Denmark. The British drummer Jimmy Nicol replaces Ringo Starr, recovering from tonsillitis, for the first 5 dates, and then there's 10 concerts plus a Dutch TV appearance. So Ringo was slightly replaced for a moment because he had
Tonsillitis,
Yeah.
yeah.
tonsillitis. Yeah.
Tonsils. I wonder if they took his tonsils out.
Well, they had to have.
Usually.
Oh yeah, tonsillitis. Well, eventually, I hear it's a lot worse to get your tonsils out at an older age than at a younger age.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I still have my tonsils, and I'm kind of concerned.
Yeah, I have mine too, and I keep feeling lumps in the back of my throat when I swallow all the time. So, oh.
Well, we're not going to touch that one.
Yikes.
No. I just, Oh, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Bland.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah,
It's a bland, but-
1967, U.S. guitarist Jimi Hendrix covered new Beatles song Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band at Savoy Theatre in London just days after its release, with George Harrison and Paul McCartney in the audience. Nice.
Oh wow.
All right.
So he learned the song pretty quickly. He was a very talented man, from what I
he was
heard.
Jimi
huge.
Hendrix, hell yeah.
He was huge.
Yeah.
Well, no, not to mention, I mean, those fingers. He should have been a bass player with those fingers he had.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, the reason that we have distortion today is because he learned that cutting the speakers slightly and a 4-point star made distortion. So that's how he got a lot of his sound.
All right.
I know he did a lot of things with the guitar that people originally didn't know how he was doing them. And so, yeah, he was ahead of his time.
But also because of those big fingers of his, he could like do such fucking crazy ranges when he played. I mean, like a bass player, he could have done some really wicked shit. I'm sure there's probably someone somewhere has heard him actually like pick up a bass and slap at the bass.
Somewhere.
I'm gonna slap a face.
Damn.
Wait,
Wait, let's move on up to 1967. Kurt Flood's record 568 straight chances without an error ended. 227 straight games. Wow.
Without an error.
Jesus.
Wow.
Kurt Flood, huh?
Yeah. And then let's move on up here.
Wow,
Mr. Carrera, you got one here in 1969. I remember reading about this. Yikes.
Oh, I actually also have a piece of history for the end of the show, so that happened today.
Is that I can't read the word. Don't highlight it, please.
Okay.
20-year-old man is what it says.
Is that 1969?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. 1969, 22-year-old man sneaks into wheel pod of a jet parked in Havana and survives 9-hour flight to Spain despite thin oxygen levels at 29,000 feet.
Whoa.
Jesus.
Wow.
Dude, speaking of avionics, I was just watching like a crazy thing where like the front window of an airplane, this is back in I think the 80s.
Is this the one where the pilot gets sucked out partially and like?
Yeah, he gets sucked out and he survived it, and like with 500-mile-an-hour winds going against him.
Oh yeah.
Or something like, 300 up in at 22,000 feet. And he's just flailing, and then, if it wasn't for a flight attendant holding his legs, like, he had to pull his legs back because his feet were holding the throttle down for a nosedive.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy,
I figured it
fucking
as much as
crazy.
He survived that?
Yeah, he survived that.
it.
You could see the person, I think that's a stewardess or something, or the co-pilot or somebody, you could see their arms right there holding them at the feet.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing keeping him in there. Like, he's already, mostly gone.
Yeah.
Like,
and then once they just sent it down,
that.
he went out to the side window.
Yeah.
But no, the guy survived it, but yeah, that's just a reenactment of it because there's nobody watching it happen.
Yeah.
But crazy shit, dude. It's amazing how he survived. And if it wasn't for the other pilot, yeah.
Well, here's a
And
picture.
then
That's incredible.
Here's an actual picture from inside.
Well, that's not an actual picture. That's part of the reenactment. I've watched this show. Yeah, there's no camera. This happened in the 80s.
Right.
In camera view of it.
You can tell he has massive wind burns right there. A lot of his skin
he
is red.
he also got frostbite from being up there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah, that reminds me. Well, I'll have to show you that show. But yeah, that's all reenactment pictures. Those aren't real pictures of what happened. There's no cameras in the cockpit at that time. So.
Well, Alice, you want to take this 1975 here?
We have 1975. The oldest animal fossils in the U.S. is discovered in North Carolina.
Huh.
Well, which animal fossil? We'll have to look into that another time.
Well, let's check that out here. Actually, I can just look this up. Oldest
What kind of
fossils in
animal
the U.S.
was it?
reported. Let's see here. The oldest animal fossil sits in the U.S., possibly North America, blah, 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 620 million years of age. Imprints of now hardened mud of large marine worms. Huh. So worms.
A marine worm? Oh, all right.
Yeah. I'm going to add this link in the underbar as well. Just because I can.
All right. Well, the more you know. Doot.
Yep. All right. Put that back
What else do we have here in history? Well, and we
let's see
got
here.
here in 1977, I guess. I'll do this. The Chautauqua Opens women's tennis. I mean, the French Opens.
Yeah.
1977, the Chautauqua Opens women's tennis. Mima Jazvek of Yugoslavia wins her lone Grand Slam singles title. Beats Florentia Miai of Romania.
Dude, what are these things? Like, what's that?
6-2, 6-2, 6-1. Those are the score stats against each set.
There's a chevron over the S, and then there's a comma underneath the T. Like, what do they mean?
Well, Yugoslavia is no longer around, but Romania still is, so I don't know what to tell you.
Huh.
Anywho, we
here we
also
go.
have an event of interest here. 1979, Joe Clark is sworn in as the youngest prime minister in Canadian history.
Huh. All right.
How old was he when he was sworn in?
Let's see here. He was 1979. He was born in 39. So what's 79 minus 39? 40? Yeah,
Something
40.
like that.
Before his 40th birthday, so he was 39. Huh.
Yeah, so he's gonna start. Oh, so is he still younger than whatever Canadians have now?
Josh Trudeau.
I'm not gonna say his name.
Trudeau.
Trudeau.
I have no idea.
Justine.
Oh.
Anyways, what else do we have? We have an album release in 1984. Columbia Records releases Bruce Springsteen's 7th studio album, Born in the USA.
Yeah.
His biggest commercial success topped the charts in 11 countries and sold 30 million copies worldwide.
Wow.
Although I'm pretty sure that's more now today.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
If you count illegal downloads and stuff.
While that was happening in 1984 as well, DNA was successly cloned from an extinct animal.
Jeez.
Whoa.
Oh no.
I had no idea we were doing that way back then. Like,
What extinct animal though?
well, let's see here. 1984, probably those worms. I don't know, maybe. Let's see here. Bits of genes taken from a zebra in the horse. Oh, a relative.
Also a form of a
A
horse?
relative of a zebra. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All
There you
right.
go. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
That's
June
pretty
5th.
interesting, actually.
Oh wow, and this article is from June 5th. It's tomorrow, from 1984.
So with that
Oh, shit,
DNA,
yeah.
could they clone that zebra?
Probably. Within a certain, if there's chunks missing, you have to fill it up with something else.
Yeah, true.
Like that, like how they did with the frog DNA in Jurassic Park. So, what else do we have here? I don't care about that. Don't care about that. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Is there anything? Oh, here we go.
Whoa, whoa.
1989 Tiananmen Square massacre. Chinese troops clear the square of student protesters. Unofficial figures place death toll near 1,000. So yesterday was the anniversary of when they actually opened fire into all the protesters. The day before, all the protesters were gathering and everything, and then several days before that was when they I think you were here last
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
We were talking about the effigy of the Statue of Liberty,
Yeah.
which led to this. So, yikes!
They have no idea how many were dead. 1,000, 10,000. Nobody seems to know.
There's
They're
one
calling
guy.
this the unofficial report.
It's one of the most iconic photos, though. Like him just standing.
Oh
and,
yeah,
The Tank Man.
yeah.
the
He
tank.
was just some guy, holding groceries, going home. It's just like enough, Like,
Stop it.
yeah,
They had the potential right there to bring down the CCP.
and they didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, they just crushed them.
Yeah,
That's what the CCP does. They
Yep.
crush you.
no, that's what our government does. They crush you. So,
Hmm.
anyway, Miss
So we finally
Alice.
said no. Well, we have 1990. Dr. Jack Kevorkian assists an Oregon
Dr.
woman
Death.
to commit suicide, beginning national debate over the right to die.
Yep. Dr. Death. So,
I'm Lady Death, so.
yeah.
Because and what I'm going to be talking about right at the end of the show, because it happened just today or within the last 24 hours, but it's a massive one, in my opinion.
Oh, well, I
We
mean,
have in 1990, we have Greyhound Bus files bankruptcy, but they're actually back and alive again.
yeah, well,
thriving.
bankruptcy doesn't mean they're defunct. They're just out
Yeah.
of money. So,
Yeah. Yeah, well, look at Trump. He filed bankruptcy.
Dude, he
Yeah.
bankrupted a casino. How do you do that? Like, and he still came
Because
out with
poor
money.
business dealings. I think he was just with the wrong people. I think he
He
like
is the wrong
originally
people.
thought he was working with actual business people, didn't realize he was working with the mob, and he was like,
I don't know. I think he realized fully
Well,
well what he was doing. So,
But then he got bailed out by like what, the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers, one of the
yeah.
two.
Well, don't forget GM and all that stuff. I went on a rant about them
Oh,
the
yeah.
other day.
Well, that's one thing about
Dude,
Trump.
apparently
His financial
apparently
trail
Ford
is just
John
littered
was,
with dead bodies.
Yeah.
His financial, not his,
Yeah.
but other people.
Yep.
Yep. We have 1991, first post-World War II non-communist government in Albania.
Albania, no longer communist. Good. Oh, wow. Huh.
And then we have 1991, same day, same year, Pope John Paul II compares abortion with Nazi murderers.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's
Dude,
a bold statement.
those are strong words. You know what? It essentially it kind of is, because it's a completely different person from the two people that created it from the moment of conception. It has a completely different DNA strand, so I do see why people would say that. However, it's a touchy subject. I am pro-life, but, I'm not going to tell people what they should do to their bodies, but at the same time, I'll be like, you shouldn't, but it's your choice at the end of the day.
In certain
not gonna hate you for it,
in certain situations, I understand abortions, but just
It's
utilizing
very
it,
small ones.
just as a get out of jail free card because you can't control yourself and you just have to like open your legs every night. No, that's just you being irresponsible.
But going
the woman's
back
one
to
responsible for
the highlight, you can't compare the two. I mean, the suffering that went on with the Nazi murders and killings
Yeah.
of Jews, you just can't compare the two.
It wasn't just the Jews. There were
there's a
like
lot.
the mentally
There's
challenged, the physically disabled.
the handicapped,
Oh,
the gays, they all
the
got
Nazis wanted a pure society.
they all
Yeah.
got put in.
Like everybody else, Jews were the primary target in the Holocaust, but it wasn't just the Jews.
No,
It was the gypsies, it was other religious minorities.
The handicapped, the mentally disabled, you mean, or physically disabled, the gays. I mean, not as much as you
the gays
think.
too. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people were just genocided
Yeah.
during that time, and it's sad, and I don't agree with it, but
Yeah.
people
it's part-
fucking do stupid shit, and
part of our history.
It's part of history.
if we forget our history, we're likely to repeat it, and I would
Yep.
hope
There
that
you
people
go.
stop getting rid of historical figures, even if they weren't a good person. The reason why it's up is so you don't forget what happened.
Yes.
The reminder, so we don't go to that level. We persevere and move forward from there.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And if
So.
a statue offends you, good. If a if whatever the statue stands for is a bad thing, then let it offend you. That's a good thing, because you learn from it.
Yeah.
Like you can't just
you learn who
wash
that
it
person
away.
is.
So
You can't pick and choose
like-
your history.
yeah.
It's all there. It's all part of it.
Yeah. Anyway, Alice, let's move on up here. 1992. This one's interesting.
1992, the United States Postal Office, young Elvis beats old Elvis stamp.
Huh.
Oh.
People wanted young Elvis. All right.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about lesbians? Whoa.
What?
I just walked in. Lesbians are not real. I was like, what?
Well,
That's
here we go.
interesting.
Moving on up to 2001, and this one's about horrible things, so here you go. Oh, she's gone. 2001, Gyanendra, the last king of Nepal, ascended to the throne after the massacre in the royal palace.
Uh-oh.
Yikes.
Little one to read one.
Huh. And moving on up here, don't care about that. Don't care about knighthood. Like, why is it all just about sports and crap?
No, because people love
2012.
sports.
Which
2012.
one?
Top.
2012. What's that? You and Jerome?
2012, car bomb killed 26 and injured 190 others in central Baghdad, Iraq. Yeah, more of the car bombings and the jihads and all that stuff happening at the time.
Yeah.
What
Well,
else do we
it's
hear?
still not even 10 years into being in Iraq and stuff. Is what George Bush Jr. He put us in, 2003 or 2004, I believe? 2003, I think. Weapons of Mass Destruction was the
Oh yeah,
idea.
yeah, that was the status quo. Like, oh, they have WMDs, and it turned out to be completely fictitious. So,
Oh, dude.
Hold on. Wait. Up a little bit. The first one.
This one?
There. Yeah.
2018, former U.S. President Bill Clinton and James Patterson published a thriller novel, The President is Missing, together. That's odd.
Wow.
Huh.
Dude, sorry about that. You guys all froze on me.
That's all right. Then we got some film and TV history here. 2018. Speaking of Bill Clinton, former U.S. President Bill Clinton, in an interview with NBC, said he hasn't and doesn't need to apologize to Monica Lewinsky. Huh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. So,
But Monica's looking
for what?
pretty good
Sucking
there. Look
his
at her
dick?
hair. Look at those hair extensions. Or those clip-ins.
I apologize for you giving me head.
what?
What?
What? Anyway, Alice. Speaking of this
What?
being a leftist source, look at this absolute lie. So,
Oh, dude, didn't we do this about a year ago?
yeah.
2018, U.S. President Donald Trump tweets, I have the absolute right to pardon myself.
I don't think he wrote that. I think that's all a lie by the leftist media.
Well, actually, no. Right before Obama left office, he pardoned himself, so yeah, he does have the right to pardon himself.
Oh, I see. So,
President forget Trump. It's just the president, I think, has the right to pardon anybody, which would include himself.
So here's the thing. So,
Yep.
so for the
And
left,
Obama
it's all
pardoned
right.
himself.
For the left, it's all right for one of their people, to pardon
Rules
themselves.
to do that
But
for
when
me.
when a right wing person just even talks about it, it's suddenly bad. Well, I mean, if it wasn't for double standards, the left wouldn't have any.
Well, this brings up a good point, and Trump and his kind of crazy-ass tweets from time to time. The left, especially the media, is taking a lot of those tweets, and as this campaign comes up, they're going to use those stupid-ass tweets as something he proposed as law, and try to make him look like an idiot.
Yeah.
He could technically pardon himself if he wanted to, like Obama did it. I mean, other presidents have done it. Actually, no, I think Obama's the only president to pardon himself.
I didn't realize he
And
did.
I wonder why he wanted to pardon himself. I mean, that could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Obama pardoned himself.
Because he drone bombed the first American.
Yeah.
Obama did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why they call him Obama, because he bombs people.
Obama. La Bamba? La Bamba.
Bumba. La bumba dumba away. Alice, will you take 2019, please?
Yes, I will, since you sing it like that. All right, we have 2019. We have the biggest protest in Prague since the fall of communism by tens of thousands against Prime Minister Andrej Babis. Use of EU subsidies.
Huh.
Well, what subsidies did he use, though? That's the question.
Well, I don't know.
Well, from the Union, European Union, he got subsidies some way. And,
so I guess
and
that's
used
money.
them. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's basically putting money into his pocket. So he's corrupt,
Yeah.
essentially.
No. How could anybody be corrupt?
Oh, how could some politician be corrupt?
You must be mistaken.
Darn.
First of all, I'm corrupt, so I don't give a shit.
Here's the thing. I'll believe that there's an honest politician when I see a virgin prostitute. All right.
Well, actually, actually, Xander, some that go into prostitution do start as virgins, and the first John. Well, I will just say that, but
They don't stay
most of
virgin
those
for
are
long.
because they're illegally being smuggled into the United States for such things.
Yeah, I'm talking about willing prostitution, Alice.
Oh, yeah. There's a difference about willingness to unwillingness. Yeah.
I was just going to say, how when a lawyer's lying, when he moves his lips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
Anyway, Miss Alice.
All right, hang on. This one got a little funky on me. It looks like. All right, hang on. What year are we? 2019 still.
Yeah.
Deforestation of the Amazon forest in Brazil is the fastest. Whoa! It went fastest for a decade, as 790 square kilometers cleared in 30 days.
Whoa.
740, but
according
still.
to the Brazilian Space Research Institute.
Yikes.
That's a lot, dude.
Yes.
That's a lot of fucking things. Like, you could find, like, what was it, that one movie that Sean Connery was in, where he's like the medicine doctor in the Amazon trying to find a cure for cancer, and it was there and it got destroyed or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I have three things right off the bat here. Like,
Go for it.
Yeah, what else do we have here?
they're all 2019. Former U.S. school security guard Scott Peterson arrested and charged with neglect of a child and culpable negligence for not confronting gunmen during Parkland school shooting or school massacre in a landmark case.
Oh, I didn't realize he was charged.
Yeah. So, and then while that was going on, a movement in Japan to end compulsory wearing of high heels in workplaces trends with hashtag #Coup2. So, like, compulsory means mandatory. So, no more high heels. And while that was happening, over 100,000 people. What?
The 2019 over 100,000 people mark.
I was literally just going to read that.
Oh, okay.
Over 100,000 people marked the 30th anniversary of Beijing's Tiananmen Square massacre in Hong Kong and around the world. Yeah.
Now Hong
Only
Kong's been
100,000?
crushed.
Yep.
I think it was a lot more than that.
Yeah, let's not read this BS. So,
Yeah.
Anything with Al Sharpton we don't need to know.
yeah.
I actually had some respect for him once upon a time, and now he's just gotten crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 2020, Miss Alice.
We got, in 2020, thousands ignore recent ban and mark the anniversary of Tiananmen Square massacre in Hong Kong again.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and actually, like, I believe that's when China, in their attempts to keep everybody, because, like, up until then, they had actually had a pretty good lid on the whole Tiananmen Square thing. A lot of people didn't realize that. But then after all of this Hong Kong stuff started happening, people somehow became aware of it again. And, you know, like, China was exposed yet again. So
That's probably why they crushed Hong Kong.
Everybody else around the world can know about it, but, like,
They don't in China.
they barely suppress it to their own people.
Yep.
well, speaking of being oppressive to their own people, take this one, Alice, and then your third one will be the one that you wanted to talk about.
All right, here we have the UNN criticizing in 2020 human rights violations in the Philippines, including deaths of 8,000 during its war on drugs. A day after the country is that country,
County,
right? Or
county.
It says county. It says county. That's what I thought. So I thought it would say country. The county's House of Representatives passed new anti-terrorism law.
Wow.
That's
Yikes,
fucking
Philippines,
gross.
yikes. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. What's my third one here? Is it the prime
The
minister
one that you wanted to talk about. You said you were going to save it till the end.
Okay, save it till the end. Okay, so actually today in history, I guess one of the largest train derailment deaths happened in India today.
Oh,
About
God.
300 are reported dead.
I saw
But
a
300
highlight
people
on that.
died in a train derailment in India.
Yeah, I saw a highlight on that today.
Okay. Crushed
Yeah.
rail cars, bodies tangle in metal, passengers and first responders recount the horror of deadly India train crash. Well, it's because they overload their trains, man. Like, you've seen those pictures, they're, like, hanging on the sides of them and everything. Like,
Yeah, exactly. But like either way, like the train
Look at
can
that.
still hold that. But like 300 people died roughly. Is what they have reported so far.
Jeez,
So
that's
that's
crazy.
the piece of history that I want to talk about that happened today.
That is
Oh, wait.
crazy.
is this a head-on collision?
I don't know. I don't think so. It was a collision. I could have sworn it was.
Yeah,
a
they
derailment.
collided with. So the impact was
another
high
train.
as the train was moving at full speed at 128 kilometers an hour or 79.5 miles an hour. And the other train,
Just under 80.
which was some kind of coal train,
Oh, so it
carrying iron
collided with
ore.
another one.
It was carrying iron
Oh.
ore.
Jeez.
So they
shit.
crashed into another train.
Oh, so that wasn't a derailment then. Okay, so that part I was wrong on.
Well,
then.
it did
All right.
derail.
It did rail. You're right.
Yeah.
It derailed.
But it crashed into another train.
So that was the cause of the derailment. Okay.
And they both were
Oh,
traveling
man.
at 70-something miles an hour, so I guess they hit head on.
Well, 79 point something is so it's just under 80 miles
Well,
an
80
hour.
miles an hour.
Well, one was traveling that one, the other was traveling 78.2. So 79.5, 78.2. So essentially, both going 80.
80. You're splitting hairs. 80 miles an hour.
Which is essentially,
Oh, jeez.
which is essentially you running full force headlong into a brick wall at 180,
Yeah.
160 miles an hour.
160, yeah.
Like,
Jesus.
yikes.
Yeah, so it's one of the most largest deaths in India
Well, that's
history
what's
for a
crazy.
train.
300,000 people.
That's a
what's
lot.
crazy.
Like,
1,000,
I saw it in my
300,
newsfeed this
300,000,
morning when I woke
Jesus
up.
Christ.
I meant 300, yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, at least
Too many zeros
300 are dead.
yeah.
Who knows who might, die from the other injuries that some people sustain.
Yeah.
I don't know how many were injured, including that, but, I mean, there were hundreds of people on that fucking bus, or that train, I should say.
Yikes.
Yay,
Wow,
I'm getting
wow.
some food delivered to me. I'm going to have myself. Well, a lot of it's for making tacos tonight.
Alright, well, anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time, which is 12 Mountain, 1 Eastern. Actually, Carrera is not Eastern, Carrera is Central. What time is it Central, Carrera?
2 o'clock.
Well, no, when we start, it's 1.
Oh, 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's 2 o'clock Eastern time because I'm in Eastern.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
Golden Loon.
Hey, it's your turn, buddy.
Beer.
Beer? Your beer? Oh, okay. And I am the lovely who is Alice, or Lady Death, or just don't call me late for dinner.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you, viewer, of course, are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, or if you're interested in the whatever, like we talk about anything style talk show, the Kick Pina is coming up at 3 p.m. Pacific time, so 3 hours actually from now.
Yep.
So,
Which will be 6 p.m. Eastern for
Yes.
those on the East Coast. So.
Yes. So anyway, until you see us again, until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Be cool, stay